Hello, I'm Min Kobayashi and this is Woods for Thought. Today I'm going to do a book review on What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard. This is a book that came out on June 6, 2017, so it is a new release. I am super excited to speak about it. It is a story about 16-year-old Elizabeth who has just gone into a treatment center for anorexia and other eating disorders. It is a very powerful story, one that resonated a lot with me because I have been struggling with an eating disorder since I was 13. Though I am in remission, I thought that her treatment was very good because of the fact that it allowed for the ability to relapse. That is often not spoken about. I've never seen very good representation of anorexia. It's always seen as a phase. And here, the characters in the book around them, many of them are on their third or fourth time in treatment and they're just not getting better. It didn't glamorize what anorexia is, it shows what it is. It has so many medical components of, in the first line we learn about the fact that she's growing white hair on her skin, which is something that is very common in order to make sure that they don't freeze to death because of their low body weight. There's also talks about bone marrow gets less and that people have issues with their heart. I was just so blown away by the fact that it went into all those things. One of my favorite lines in the book was, what he didn't realize was that we weren't choosing this. At least we weren't anymore. It really dives into the fact that it is a disease. One of the main issues I had was that none of the people suffering from eating disorders in the books were men. They did lightly mention that men do struggle from it also. Men are not treated as much, but a lot of them have it, especially athletes. I know in Ontario it kills 12 times more girls between 14 and 25, any other thing other than accidents, and it is the most deadly and fatal mental illness in the world, which is insane. They were talking about 20% of women die directly from anorexia. Their therapy wasn't used well because anorexia isn't just about not eating. Say medicine is the food, but it's not. Medicine is the mind and building up one's self-esteem and knowing that they are more than what they look like. I thought that it was very good that they used the therapy sessions as a way to tell backstory because I thought that was ingenious. But at the same time, I wish that they had used therapy sessions for actually treating her in the ways of getting better self-esteem, and I wish there was more development into her parents actually affirming that. I thought that the family dynamics were amazing, outstanding. I loved the connect to genetics, the way that her mother acts also influences her because that. Also, I would say that there is a huge trigger warning about 3/4 through the section in which her anorexic body is shamed for being too skinny. I read a book named Willow about 5 years ago when I was really struggling with anorexia, and it's a book about cutting, but in there's a scene in which an anorexic girl is completely ridiculed for how disgusting, grotesque, and awful she looks. And in this makes Willow want to become non-cutter because she realizes that people will look at her the same way. So if my brain thinks that it's bad to be fat, but it's also bad to be skinny, then how am I supposed to do that? Telling people that have anorexia that being skinny is bad, it just makes the struggle even harder. So I was really bothered by that, and I didn't like it that that was included. I might be forgetting things. I have a lot to say about the subject. But overall, I thought that it was a very good book, and I would definitely recommend it for people who are questioning like what other people are going through, that they have loved ones with it. Especially, I think this would be a book that would help them understand that. And if you are a recovered anorexic, I would say go ahead, read it. If you're still struggling with it, go with how you think you can read it. It has a lot to do with how people actually feel, so it could be quite triggering if you still experience symptoms. Anyways, have a great day and happy reading.